of the Gambia. I heard somebody talk about people from Gambia. No, it is the Gambia. It's good to, also Kenyans need to know some of these things. It is the Gambia. And I am particularly proud that just this last week, where we were with the leader of the majority party, we have finally made the decision upon application readmitting the Gambia to the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, both at the international level and at the Africa regional level. Therefore, I'm very proud that indeed the representation from the Gambia is here with us. The Honorable Kimunya did indicate that, of course, we have under challenges because of the governance structure that we gave to ourselves. But you see, Kenyans having made the decision, it's upon us now to make that governance structure work for us. It is for that reason that the Honorable Momanyi will bear me witness, indeed even the Honorable Jimmy Angwenyi, because that's a project that was started quite early. In fact, the Honorable Angwenyi would recall, we inherited as a Parliamentary Commission the decision by the predecessor commission in which the Honorable Peter Mwadhi served. They are the ones who took the decision to do the building across the road here. When we took over, we began the implementation. Having recognized that we adopted a different governance structure, what the Mwadhi Commission had come up with as committee space was not enough, we realized. Because I think the original designs were to have 15 committee rooms. But recognizing that we are 349 members and 67 in the Senate, there was need to increase. And therefore, some of the space has had to be taken away by additional committee rooms, well fashioned to accommodate all the members and the chair. Each chair will be housed within the committee room. So those of you who are working very hard to come back, please also work hard to become a chair of a committee. I'm sure you'll have a very nice working environment in the new building, office block, because we have put in total 26 committee rooms. As presently constituted, it was quite possible, if we were not, we didn't have the Senate, it's quite possible that we would have housed every committee of the National Assembly at that place. Yes, committees working is Parliament at work. But we've had difficulties, and I will not need to enumerate some of the measures that we have taken. You are well aware of them. But for the benefit of our guests, and our chief guest in particular, of course, as the executive, when the President of Kenya announced the first COVID-19 case in April 2020, it forced us, and the entire country was forced to adopt new ways of doing business. But of course, it is still the function of Parliament to oversight and legislate, even in those circumstances. Indeed, as you know, the Constitution provides for Parliament to even declare war, and even during a war period, to function in a particular manner. And therefore, this forum, covering a lot of the work that committees have done during the COVID-19 period of 2020 and this year, it's an important one. And I really would wish to implore anybody that wishes to see what to adjudge, make an independent judgment of what committees have done to actively follow the proceedings, more particularly tomorrow. Because as the theme has so judiciously been chosen, it is discharging committee business amidst the COVID-19 pandemic period. And we were called to do certain things. There was lockdown, new measures being implemented, but Parliament, even though not required to sit without adjusting to the protocol periods, and to do its work. And therefore, subsequently, the House and the committees, it is something that is known, lost a lot of valuable time. I know we've had occasion to make adjustments and argue with some of our colleagues, like the Honorable Jimmy Angwenyi, because even though he is very active today here, he prefers working from the House. But of course, as you know, I've had on numerous occasions in the House to issue various guidelines to all members and the House, as well as to the committees. And that has not been always received well. Sometimes committees have also found difficulties interrogating some of the decisions being taken by the executive. You know, especially examining reports from the Auditor General by either the Public Accounts Committee, Public Investments Committee, or the Special Funds Committee. And because of the COVID situation, the other committees, some of the people in the executive were not always forthcoming with the information. And via Zoom, they would always create excuses, occasionally disappear. And since they are not next to you, you have no way of knowing whether they are disappearing deliberately or is it just technical challenges. So therefore, this has been quite a challenging time, but I must commend the committees, because even as much as we've put pressure on committees, that remember, we always require within 21 days after a bill has been referred to a committee to submit a report. Even though it has not always been timely, committees have gone out of their ways to make sure that reports on various bills and legislative proposals have been availed to the House. It is one of those things one will not, talking to ordinary Kenyans, they may not appreciate fully what goes on behind the scenes, as the Deputy Speaker was explaining. The staff will do their work, but if the members are not there to make the decisions, to take the decisions, it will still count for zero. The staff will make their drafts, advise, but the members must be available. So this has been quite a challenging time. Even at making adjustments to the sitting times, many of you will recall that given those many challenges, we even had to adjust to start sitting at night, which caused a lot of inconveniences to some of the members, the likes of Honorable Angwenyi, like by 6:30 to take some further liquids. And we had to close, we had to insist that the members' bar be closed. So, I mean, all these are challenges that we faced. Yeah, he calls it godly, the godly substance. Indeed, we haven't quite relaxed the rules regarding visitation. We still are within the COVID protocols, not to have too many visitors here. That has really caused a lot of problems. In fact, I don't even know how the Committee on Finance has been able to get Jimmy Angwenye to be present at meetings, but every time they bring their reports, I always find his signature there. Because he's a founder member, as he says. So this is actually a performance report which is going to be launched here. And in my view, it's a manifestation of the commitment by members and the staff to duty and fidelity to our ultimate employers, the Kenyan people. To a great extent, parliamentary committees have provided the flexibility that the National Assembly required to function during the pandemic period. However, we prioritized key oversight departmental committees to ensure that they were functioning virtually and rapidly during the pandemic. As capacity was enhanced administratively, we managed to facilitate more and eventually all committees, which required a significant adaptation to work schedules and extra human and financial resources to ensure that the committees were functioning effectively. I need not discuss the issue of procedures because that has been addressed. We obviously are in the process again, as you know, even though we are still within the pandemic period, we have already started the process which comes at the tail end of every parliament to review our rules. In the review, we look at what it is that has worked well for us, what could be improved, what could be done away with. It is through committees that actually the Procedure and House Rules Committee is able then to pick what can serve us better or what can improve the quality of service that we offer to the public. And this is ongoing. I need not, of course, revisit the issue of KEMSA because that has become very, very popular in the country. But suffice to say that the Public Investments Committee's report is before the House, and the House will be able to make a determination one way or other on the recommendations made therein. But at all times, appreciating that even in doing our work, we must also be alive to the issue of value for money. Those that audit us will want to see, and it is through these reports that they will want to see whether the resources that are made available to us have been applied for the benefit of the citizenry, or as members, some people will say, just undertaking trips. Anyhow, as I conclude my remarks, I wish to point out that we are aware that we are fast approaching the tail end of this 12th Parliament, and wish to urge members that even as you fight to retain your seats, parliamentary seats, let us still continue to support the committee businesses where we serve in, where we sit, to ensure that all our meetings have, particularly at this time, the requisite quorum, because without a quorum then we will be judged harshly. Because even as we head, we are still accountable to the employer. And the fact that we were visited by this, actually, in a sense, COVID-19 aroused so many people around the world about the need to develop innovative ways of working. Some of which not limited to, of course, the fact that tenants are able to pass in shopping malls with their landlords even when they have not paid them, because they cover they use the masks to hide their faces. I therefore would wish to really encourage you members of the committees, the chairs, and the staff to continue doing what you do best. Engage fruitfully in this forum. But as I sit, can you allow me to singularly invite our chief guest, my brother, the Right Honorable Sorry. Yeah, I think it's the procedural way. You know, the Deputy Speaker is also the Vice Chair of the Procedure and House Rules Committee. I am informed that we are to launch. Yeah? So my brother, Martin Goga, kindly launch for us the performance report.
Yeah, so only a few members will come here, the properly masked one. Those who are properly masked. A few members will come here to escort the chief guest in launching the report. Of course, we will be having the speaker himself also being part of the team. A few chairs who are able. Yeah. Yes, and the members of the speakers panel, Honorable Mulele should be headed here very quickly, and the rest of the membership of the panel, those who have really done a good job to help the speaker. No, ranking member is not.